That I did for myself, the turquoise, the happy window. Because you look at it, you get happy. Uh, Color of dreams is turquoise, I think. You put all that that vibrating stuff together, it's hard not to like it. I was extremely depressed when I designed it. I mean, I made it because I needed to break the mood that I was in. So I sat down and I had a concept of how I wanted to design it, and then it just evolved and it kept getting busier and busier, and I kept saying, but where do you stop it? And then you don't take out one line, you add another, and it just, all those flanges, that's an insane project to do. But I did it because I wanted to do it for me, not for anybody else. And I think that's what defines the artist, as opposed to a mechanic or a craftsman. I'm doing things not for sale. It's just because it's the love of the material. It's my anger that creates my art. So, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's out there who does that. Because you're pissed off with the world, you take it out and you make something beautiful. I mean, a long time ago I realized glass breaks, and if you're going to be upset about it, you're in the wrong business. I did this art show out in Long Island. I had this beautiful, beautiful window that I was going to show, and I put it down leaning up against a tree. The next thing I knew, the wind blew it over and smashed it. Well, you could sit there and feel sorry for yourself, or you could say, well, that was a really stupid thing to do. This is supposed to represent the wave. And I can show you a sample of what the first one looked like. That wasn't bad. It wasn't, I just knew I could make it better. First thing I tell people that they have to learn how to do is break glass in their hands without being afraid of it. There you go. After a while, it becomes like walking. It's mind over matter, you know that. Well, you're going to get cut. That's a certainty. You're going to get cut. Let's do the 3/16. Okay. Look how perfect that fit there. I was a Vietnam veteran. I was basically working in a photography studio, and I needed something to do. And it wasn't out of the love of, I never had a thing for stained glass. I never considered it as a profession or a hobby or anything. Somebody just suggested I take a stained glass class. So I said, it sounded like something to do. So I registered early in the summer. In the fall, I took a class. And the first piece of glass I cut, I said, I can do this. It was like one of those magical things where you say, wow, I could see the totality of how the steps had to be taken, of learning how to cut glass and learning how to design and going through all the different processes. It's a business. Most people don't even look at glass as an industry. That's part of what it is. It's an industry. It's been going on for hundreds of years. Yeah, that was a rude awakening when I found out that from top to bottom they don't line up in the same mold. There's gaps. That's too much of a gap. But if you take them and keep them all in the same spot, these were they all fit nice and snug. Everybody else that I know is they just do, reproduction windows, or they just do fused glass, or they just do this. I keep playing. It's all about new things, trying new things, expanding it. I'm constantly learning. That's part of the beauty of all of this. You don't have to ever stop learning what it is that you can do. I sold one of my abstract windows to this woman in Jersey, and we hung it in the kitchen window. About 6 months later, she called me up and said she wanted me to do a bathroom window. So I walked into a bathroom, and I wanted to do another one of my contemporary abstract, very hard angled. And I walked into a bathroom, and it didn't look anything like, like my work. So I thought about it, and I came up with, as I was driving back to the studio, what it would look like to look inside of a bubble jar, the way the bubbles were condensed and pressed. And way back in when I was going to art school, I had this painting teacher who got me to focus in on the line I was using and how organic it had to look, so that it taken out of context, that this is the story I got, taken out of context, it had a grace and a beauty all of its own. So that's where the bubbles come from. It looks simple, but it takes a long time to sit there and get those curves exactly so that they float into each other without having any kind of bump or unorganic feel to them. They're fun to do. It's just painting with light and texture. Texture is an important part of what we do. It's a love affair with creating, finishing a project, and moving on to the next one. The everlasting beauty of what it is that I'm putting out there. It's here forever. That's, it's here forever. You go into churches and you see windows that have been there for 100 years. And somebody had to make that. Somebody had to design it. And nobody cares about those people, but the people who made those windows care about what it was that they were doing. It's a marvel. It really is a marvel that this stuff is still around. I don't see anybody new coming into the industry. There are very few younger people looking to do it because the computer age has changed everything. You can do so much more with your mind than with your hands. But eventually people like me are going to be making a lot more money because of what we can do with our hands as opposed to what we can do with a computer or on paper. I'd love to see my children take this over, but I don't think they have the heart for it because it's not as financially rewarding as I'd like it to be. And I'm not saying I'm not about money. It's just that's never been the criteria of why I work. It's about what I can create. I'll be happy if I can get to do 10-15% of the work that I do as what I would deem creative. And that would make me a happy painter.